And welcome back to our final segment of today.
You bet. And I have to say a special hi to our viewers in Spain. My son just ran with the bulls.
What?
He did. And boy, he can cross that off. He's 29 years old. He's over there on kind of a walkabout on his honeymoon. And we thought, my wife said, get to a sperm bank quick so we can save the Clark. But anyway, he said he wouldn't do it again. He said there were a number of serious injuries in the run.
Oh,
he
One
did.
was from Bakersfield.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I hope he's got pictures.
Well, I don't know. Can you take pictures while you're running? Anyway, he shared that experience with all you folks over there, so he's coming back with tales to tell.
What did you say, a selfie? Wow, welcome back. So, Jim, did you have a question?
Yes,
before?
Jim, it's interesting that your purpose has arisen, that your new life purpose in these later years has arisen out of a crisis you went through, and now you're reaching back to others going through the same thing. What would you tell them? Clarify the ages that are involved in these kind of donations, and here we have a woman living the most vital life I've ever seen with one kidney. So we know that can happen. But tell us about your own discovery of a purpose going through this experience.
Well, first of all, most hospitals that do the transplants will take kidney donors, or will do the surgeries for people up to age 50.
50.
So if you think that, well, I'm 40 or 35 or I'm too old to donate, that's definitely not the case with matchingdonors.com. They're not concerned about your wealth, whether you're poor, rich, about ethnicity, age, or anything like that. All you need to do is sign up with them, and they will help you find a kidney. But purpose-wise, I have always been what I would consider a community servant. I've always been involved in volunteering, and this kidney disease kind of set me back a little bit because I was not able to do that while I was struggling with the disease, and so I couldn't wait to get back to where I could get back to serving people in the community.
After the surgery, how long did it take to get back to that kind of functioning and service?
Well, it took me a little longer than it took my donor to recover.
Oh, really?
Interestingly, most people thought it would be just the reverse. But she was up and out and jogging just a couple of days out of the hospital.
Do you remain close to her?
We do. She lives in, as I said, in Vancouver, Washington, and we stay in communication a lot.
Tell her she can find this video on Facebook.com/open up.
Yes.
And she can watch this whole interview.
Wow.
What's her
I
name?
will. Robin Holmes.
Robin
H-O-L.
Holmes. We
Hi,
salute,
Robin.
We salute
Yes.
you.
Salute you. John, what's your thought about all this?
John, what are you hearing here?
I'm just I'm thrilled with it. I as a fellow Rotarian, I really just think that he was blessed. Now he is a blessing, and we're blessed to be a blessing, and that I think the young lady or the lady that gave the kidney to you, it's the ripple effect. Think of all the people that you are affecting because she's given you the opportunity to live further, and I think it's wonderful. These are the kind of purposeful things that we can do in our life that really bring about that new season of life for us.
Could I mention a couple of statistics
Yes,
that
please.
people may not be? Every day in the United States, 19 people die waiting for a kidney. They've been on the list anywhere from 7 to 15 years, the government's cadaver donation list. A new person's name is added to this national transplant waiting list every 13 minutes. And as of November of last year, the United Network for Organ Sharing, which is the government's kind of quasi organization, they had a waiting list of more than 120,000 people waiting for a kidney transplant.
Wow.
So the need is great.
Waiting for a kidney. And I mean,
Yes.
just think, you did say that matchingdonors.com also transplant other organs.
Yes, they do.
And that was just for kidney
Just
alone.
for kidneys alone. Yes.
What did you have something that you were required to do after the operation on how to take care of your kidney, or?
Well, there are medications that you have to take for life, for the rest of your life, to sustain the transplanted kidney, which is a piece of cake to do when you think about what the alternative might be.
Yeah.
Right.
But other than that, exercise, try to stay healthy.
Let's live a good life.
Yes.
You know, I want to wrap this show up in these last few minutes, and John, with John here. John, you know, we shared on the telephone that the guy who is hailed as the wisest man who ever lived was Solomon.
That's right.
So he was a sage. And when he wrapped up his life, when he looked back, he came to some very profound conclusions that he tried to share with all generations to come. Tell us about your thoughts about his look back and what he advises all generations to think about and do.
Well, I would encourage everybody to, even if you've read it before, to go back to Ecclesiastes. Read the whole thing. You don't have to read it word for word. If nothing else, do a quick perusal through it and see how just the spirit of it. Because he comes out and he goes, you know, I've done it all. I'd done it all. He says, I asked for wisdom, but God gave me everything. He said, I built anything I wanted to build. I built everything that it was huge. It was wonderful. He says, I had relationships far more than anybody else, and we have heard about those. But he said, you know, I've had wealth. I've had anything that my heart desired. I pulled together. And he said, you know what? When I come to the realization of life, it's just all it's all not really worth it. It's a good thing to do all that stuff. I'm not saying not do it. He says, but it's at the end, we all have the same end of our life. We all die in this world. He said, so really, what is it that I would say now that I've come to the end of this, and now that I've shared wisdom, and I found wisdom, and I found knowledge, and I found wealth, and I found relationships, what is it that really, at the end of all of this, what are my words of encouragement to you? And it's just real simple. Find God in your life. Find the purpose that God has put within your life. Live out that purpose. In Micah, God tells his people, he says, he's shown you, O man, what's good. And what does the Lord require of you? Do justice, love mercy, and just walk humbly with your God. You don't have to become real religious. You don't have to become real socially active to do this or that, become super popular or anything. But walk humbly and love those people around you.
Yes.
And that's the purpose. That's the invigoration. That's what we're given new organs for. That's what we're given the opportunity for every day that we wake up in this world. And especially as we turn to our leisure life, we can begin to understand that even more. We can understand it more, and we have depth to be able to share it more.
You know, I remember the little vacation Bible school illustration, someone holding up a light bulb, and they said, isn't this just perfectly designed? Look at the intricate, design of this thing. It's just perfect, but what's wrong with it? Well, it was dark. And it said a light bulb was designed to receive power from outside itself. And it doesn't fulfill its purpose until it receives power from outside itself. And that's what I hear you saying, John. That's what I hear Solomon saying, that we need to connect with our Creator.
And I would come back to the theme that we had talked about, and that is, don't focus on aging. Don't focus on what you're doing to get old. Focus on saging. Focus on what you have the opportunity to give in your latter days.
Boy, when we have two guys that are
Excellent.
doing just that.
Yes, and Jim is just enjoying.
I appreciate it. Jim. I really appreciate it.
All right.
So,
right.
and I love that. Don't focus on aging, focus on saging. Oh, I tell you, Don, I love it. So, 30 seconds.
Tina, great to be with you.
Good to
always.
be
You're
with you,
just
Don.
looking great today.
Don, I'd like to say to everyone, keep loving each other.
Yeah. Keep loving the Lord and stay strong, everybody. We really appreciate you being with us. We'll be back next week, and
Oh, it's
a
our
lot more to
birthday
come.
show next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're aging. We're aging.